A true friend knows your weakness, but he shows your strength also. Good morning and warm welcome to your English class. Today we are going to learn the lesson written by the famous writer Vaikom Muhammad Bashir. So, lesson number 4, Oru Manushyan, written by Vaikom Muhammad Bashir. Before reading the lesson, let us do a small activity. Who, according to you, is a good human being? Think of these qualities in a person. Okay, you may be saying a good human being is a person who can help or ready to help in spite of his difficulties, or he's a person who knows your weakness and try to help out you. So here 4 points are given: helping the needy, extracting money from elders, living a self-contented life, being violent. So is this in this 4 quality typed here, according to you, which is a good quality a good human being must possess? Yes, think. So here in this session we are going to learn a very interesting lesson written by Vaikom Muhammad Bashir. He is a Malayali writer, and the real name is the title itself is in Malayalam. Why it is maintained in Malayalam? In order to not to lose the real essence. When you translate it, it is called as one man. So here, when you read, author himself is telling that you may feel it's a silly story for you, but for author it is something very important, and it changed his entire lifetime. And here Bashir, Vaikom Muhammad Bashir, the writer himself, is narrating his own personal experience. The scene is taking place in a marketplace, in a busy restaurant. So here, let's start. You have no definite plans. You are wandering around far away from home. You have no money with you. You don't know the local language. You can speak English and Hindustani. So, author means Bashir himself is telling that he doesn't have a definite plans to go, and he's wandering. Wandering means roaming around from his own home place. And the first thing to be noted is that he doesn't have money at all, and he doesn't know the local language. Just imagine the situation. Right now, the present situation, the world is developed so far, you can get the translation from the Google itself. And most of the people, even though not educated people, they know, especially in Bangalore, they know how to speak in at least minimum of 3 different languages. And English is a common language used by everyone. For us, we may not find so difficult. But think about maybe around 75 years back, what will be the situation? And he means here, Bashir can speak English and Hindustani. Hindustani means Hindi. He can speak only English and Hindi, and he doesn't know Kannada at all. Just imagine. And the local people does not to communicate in English, neither in Hindi. So what will be his condition? And one thing to be noted is that he doesn't have money at all, and local support, and he doesn't know how to communicate with the local language. But very few people knew either of these languages. This can land you in many predicaments. Predicament means dangers. Many adventures can befall you. So if you don't know the language, or if you don't know the translation, it is really difficult to understand. For example, certain words in Tamil. For water, we can say in English. In Tamil, it is called tanni. In some other language, tanni it means a drink, alcohol. So instead of, if you are going to a place where tanni is known as alcohol, and if you wanted some drinking water, if you are asking a person give some water, what he will do? He may give alcohol to you, or they may grumble at you. So these are the dangers you may fall in. You find yourself caught in a dangerous situation. A total stranger rescues means protects or helps, saves you. Rescues means saves you from this situation. Even after a year pass by, you will sometimes remember that man and wonder why he did so. Can you recollect any such incident happen in your life? Last year, when I was discussing this story with my students in the class, one or two have come up with their own personal experience, and one girl narrated a beautiful experience about her personal experience. One day, while she was traveling in BMTC bus, the ticket checker entered. In fact, she has already paid the money, but the ticket, somehow she misplaced the ticket. So what happened is that when the ticket examiner came, she didn't have the ticket to give. So what happened? She was put in such an embarrassing situation, and luckily along with her, two other friends were there in the bus, and she was telling it was such an embarrassment situation because so many young boys were seated and they all thought that she never paid for the bus money or for the ticket. By luck, what happened is that, and the ticket examiner was forced to take her to the police station, but her friends also accompanied her. That was the beauty of it. Even though the friends also didn't have money, because most of you have the pass, this by misfortune or what, these two friends also never had money with them to pay the fine amount. So but these two friends have good mentality. They accompanied with him, and one of the friend among the two friends, one friend was very clever enough. Immediately she asked one auntie, one of the ladies seated over there, and asked her to ring up to her father. Immediately before they reached the police station, her father reached and paid the fine for this, and they saved from this embarrassing situation. So this girl was telling that till my death I'll never ever what happened, this will be always in my mind when I enter a bus. Never, I till the end of my journey I will keep the bus ticket with me. So it was she was telling it was such an embarrassing situation as a young girl were caught for 10 rupees. Actually it was her mistake. She had already paid the money, but she never had the ticket to show to the ticket examiner. So here the author is telling the same situation he had, and he is telling that a stranger, here you can say that friend helped, this girl's friend helped, but not according to Bashir. He also was entered in such a similar situation, and he never had a familiar face over there, but a stranger came and rescued him. And many part of occasion in his time, he have always remembered about this stranger who helped Bashir from this embarrassing situation. Let us say it is I, not you, who remembers the man. I am now narrating an experience which I had. So here the author himself is revealing his identity. I means Bashir. I have some vague means not clear, notion means idea about human beings, including myself. There are around me good men, thieves, those who suffer from various infectious diseases and from madness. One has to live carefully. The world has more evil than good. We realize this only after we get hurt. So he's telling that when you look around the world is full of experiences. When you enter into the world, you have lot of experiences, or when you enter into your adulthood, you have lot of challenges to be faced in this world, and sometimes you feel that in this world there are more bad people than the good people. Let me record here that incident which was perhaps quite insignificant. Insignificant means not important. So here certain words, I'm just giving the meaning once again. Predicaments means danger, rescues means saves, vague notion means not clear, notion means idea. Then, so these are the new terms you may be seeing right now. So let me record here that incident which was perhaps quite insignificant. Insignificant means not important. When I say this story, for you it seems to be very, what is so great about this story? You may feel it is as not that important, but for me it was a real shocking incident that have taken place in my life. So now the author is telling the story. It was quite a big city in the valley of a mountain, some 1,500 miles away from home, the inhabitant of which had never been known the quality of mercy. So this paragraph is the answer for the second question. It was a quite big city in the valley of a mountain, some 500,000 miles away from home. So one marker question: how far away author was from his hometown? What is the answer? 1,500 miles away. And talking about the people of this place, one important characteristic is that they never know the quality of mercy. They are in fact cruel people. They were very cruel, and most of the people were murderer, robber, pickpocketing. These are the things their work. Instead of selling, trading, soldiers, doctors, nurses, what is the job they were doing? They were murderers. They were doing robbery, pickpocketing for their daily existence. By tradition, the people were professional trade soldiers. Underline. By tradition, from the tradition, what are they are supposed to be? The people in this city must be professional soldiers. But right now, what is the work they are doing? Exact opposite: murderer, robbery, and pickpocketing. So one marker question: by tradition, the people of this city, what was their profession? Professional soldiers. Some of them went to distant places and lent out some money on interest. So from this point, we can tell that these people wanted to make money through shortcuts. So they don't want to work. That's the reason they were lending money out on interest. Many others served as watchmen in banks, mill, large commercial establishment in big city, and some of them have migrated from this place and have started working in some in the cities like watchman and in some other industrial work. Money was highly valued by them. So the quality is that two quality. They don't know the quality of mercy, and the second one is that money was highly valued. For money, they would do anything, even commit murder for the sake of money. From that line itself, we can understand the mindset of these people. What are they? For the sake of money, they are ready to even kill people. I stayed, I means the author. I, Bashir, stayed in that city. Third question answer this is second mean. I stayed in that city in a very small, dingy means small, dirty room. Small, dirty street. I carried on a profession there. So what was author's profession over there? He was teaching English to some migrant laborers. And how many languages he knows? He knows English and Hindustani. So where he was staying in a dirty room, dingy small room, and in a dirty street. And what was his work? He was teaching English for the migrant laborers. Timing, there is a timing, that is 9:30 till 11 in night, because most of the workers may be working. So after their work hours, they will come to learn English from the narrator, that is Bashir. So his working hours starts from 9:30 till 11 o'clock. I taught them to write address in English. So for what reason they are coming to Bashir? Just to learn how to read and write in English, not for the certificate, not for their high academic profile. Just they wanted to know how to read their house address and to how to write their name. Learning to write an address in English was considered a great education there. So, if you are were in this city, you will be the most learned person, because you know how to write, you know how to speak. You have the mastery over the language, not only in English but in Hindi, Kannada, Tamil, and so on. So here he's telling that if you know to write your address is considered as a great education. You must have seen people to write address at the post office maybe 30 years back. I have seen, I don't think you would have experienced that. If you go to the May Hall, if you go to any lawyer court, Supreme Court, or May Hall, you can see that, or village office, where people will be seated there and they will be helping us to fill the forms, just to write your name and the address. For most of your students now, you would have got 10 standards minority scholarship. Who filled your scholarship? You yourself filled the scholarship forms, right? But in the maybe 30 years back, most of the people were not educated enough. They don't know how to read and write. So their intention was just to come write their name and write the address. So for that sake, they were coming to the author. And here he is telling that in front of the post office, some people will be seated over there. If you pay 1 rupee or 2 rupee, those days it was annas, just like your coins, you can tell, 25 paisa or 1 paisa. So if you give 25 paisa, they will fill up the forms. Or if you go to the bank, you don't know to write your name and your bank account, somebody will be seated over there. If you pay 25 paisa, they will write your name, what all things has to be filled in the form. They will help you to write. You must have seen people who write address at the post office. They were paid anything between 1 anna and 4 anna for writing an address. So how much you earn if you write a letter, your address and name, you will earn 1 or 2 annas. For example, 25 paisa or something like that. I taught the skill of writing address to people in order to escape the same fate myself, to see if I could save some money. And why I picked up to teach these migrant laborers is that I wanted, in order to escape the same fate myself. So he didn't wanted to have fate, to write your name, your own name. You have to beg others to write your name. So that is the reason he learned English. Now this English became useful for him, but because when he came to this place, unknown city, he is making his livelihood by writing the name by helping them to learn their name, how to write in English and their address. So with this, he was earning his livelihood. How? By teaching the migrant laborers how to read, how to write the address and their name in a letter. In those days, I would sleep all day and wake up at 4. Underlined one marker said this. What was the routine of the author? So what was the routine? He will sleep late and wake up only at 4. It is not because he is lazy, because he wanted to save the expense of drinking his morning tea and eating noon meal. So now you can understand the situation of the author. He never had extra income. He only 1 or 2 annas he will be getting daily. With that money, he couldn't meet his both the ends. That means he can't afford to have 3 times meal. So in order to escape from that or to control the expenses, he used to sleep throughout the day. So he thought that he can escape from the morning tea and the noon meal. One day I got up at 4 p.m. as usual because his work started by 9:30 to 11. So 4 o'clock he's getting up, 4 p.m. not a.m., p.m. he's getting up. Why he's getting up very late? Because in order to save the expense of drinking morning tea and eating noon meal. I finished my daily chores. Chores means daily work. Just what is your daily chores? Reading newspaper, after getting up praying, then reading newspaper, then going to bathroom, washing your face, cleaning the house, all this thing, whatever you do daily basis, that is called daily chores. And stepped out for my tea and a meal. So usually he will get up by 4 p.m. and he will step out, he will go out, and he will eat mostly from the hotel for the tea and meal together. You must understand that I was dressed in a suit. So even though he never had money, he was well dressed. Nobody can make out he is a poor man. I had a wallet. Wallet means a small purse in my coat pocket. I had 14 rupees in it. So see, now when you check your pocket, you may have more than 100 bucks right now. So compare the value of money those days. So he's telling that I had only 14 rupees in my wallet. It was this life saving at the time. Throughout the lifetime, what I have earned with me, because I don't have a cupboard to keep the money, so I used to carry this 14 rupees, not annas, rupees in my wallet, and it was his life saving at the time. I entered a crowded restaurant. I ate full meal consisting of chapatis and meat curry. So it was a crowded restaurant and he had full course of meal. What all things he ate? Chapati and meat curry, and he had tea as well. So you must understand, morning he never had his breakfast, neither morning tea and lunch. He's having only one time meal. The bill came to 11 annas. So 11 annas it came, and how much he had? He had 14 rupees. So annas you can consider that's like 25 paisa, and you can think of 14 rupees, 40 rupees, and what is the bill? Bill was only 25 paisa or 1 rupee you can say. So it is easily he can pay the amount. It was my life saving at the time. I entered a crowded restaurant. I ate full meal consisting of chapatis and meat curry. I drank tea as well. The bill came to 11 annas. I put my hand into my coat pocket to pay the money. I began sweating profusely. Profusely means in large amount. And when he put his hand inside the coat, what happened? He couldn't find his purse. And just imagine the feeling. What if you are in his condition? I think you can very well understand. The entire life saving with you is not, it's been pickpocketed. And he's telling that for 124 day hours I have eaten, because next evening 4 o'clock only again he will have his meal and tea. So that instantly got digested. The reason was my wallet was not there. When he put his hand in the coat pocket, he couldn't find the pocket. Then he said, somebody have pickpocketed my wallet. Then it was a very busy restaurant. The owner gave a loud guffaw. He made a mocking way. He's making a ha ha ha, that smile. I know all these are tricks played by the people. Those who don't have money with them, what are the trick they'll tell? I lost my wallet, or they may put some cockroach or hair in the food and tell that, see, I cannot pay the bill because all those things are there, I found in the food and I was not happy. So he is telling, the owner is telling, I know your tricks. That trick will not work out here. He caught by my lapels. Lapels means the shoulder, that your collar. And he cried, and put the money down and go, or else when I'll gouge your eyes. And he demanded, this trick will not work out for telling that your pocket is being pickpocketed. If you don't pay the money, what is the punishment he is giving for? I will pull out your eyes. So for 25 paisa or 1 rupee, can you expect that somebody will pull out your eyes? Never. So with this, I'm ending my session for this day. Next class, we'll continue with the part 2. Before I end, let's do a small recap of the lesson. So this lesson is written by Vaikam Muhammad Bashir, and he is narrating his own personal experience in an unknown place, and where he had never had much money with him, and he never knew the language. Somehow he managed to get a job of teaching the migrant workers, teaching English. With that, he was having 1 meal a day. But what happened to him one day? His pocket was being pickpocketed, and when he told the truth, the owner of the restaurant never believed, and he threatened that if Bashir is unable to pay, or if he is not paying this 11 annas for the food, what he will do? He will pull out the eyes of Bashir. So let's see in the next class whether the owner of the restaurant, his name is not mentioned in the story, whether the owner of the restaurant will really pull out Bashir's eyes. Have a blessed day. Stay safe.